Hey all, it's Tuesday night, and you know what that means? It's virtual happy hour time. Welcome to all of my soul friends and soul family. I can see all of you chatting in already. I am excited to have you join me for our virtual happy hour. And who remembers the theme? What's the theme for tonight's happy hour? Kendall. That's right. Think. It's all about brain health. And we're going to be talking about how you can maintain a healthy brain, healthy mind, and the soul products that will help you do that. And Dr. Alison Caldwell-Andrews is going to give us that presentation. But before we turn the time over to Dr. Alison, I do have my joke of the day. How do you turn a brain into water? How do you turn your brain into water? You remove the B. And I don't know where that ranks on my dad jokes, but it's probably somewhere toward the bottom. And so I apologize. That wasn't a really great dad joke, but at least it was a dad joke that had something to do with the brain. And as I said, Dr. Alison Caldwell-Andrews has prepared a presentation on brain health. We're going to watch that presentation. It's pre-recorded, but then Dr. Alison is going to join us live and she will answer your questions. Now, while you're watching that, I want you to be thinking of your best dad joke, because I have some prizes I'm going to give away to my 3 top dad jokes at the conclusion of tonight's program. So let's turn the time over to Dr. Alison.
Hello, this is Dr. Alison for Soul Naturals, and tonight we are going to talk about being soul healthy in your brain. That's what we're going to do, being soul brain healthy. Your brain affects all of the things. Everyone knows this. And at this point, it's really no surprise that the brain is affected also by pretty much all of the things. Your brain is protected. It's sitting in a little sack of fluid that will kind of keep it floating so that not every knock on your head is going to actually directly bruise your brain. And so that sack of cerebral spinal fluid will help protect your brain from a lot of the pushing, shoving, the jars of regular life. And your brain also is protected with the blood-brain barrier. In other words, it is a little hard for some substances to cross into the brain. There's some built-in protection there. However, your brain is connected to the body and things do get in. Some things do cross the blood-brain barrier. Some things can carry other things in with them to the blood-brain barrier. And some things can get out of the brain. And so the brain is very, very responsive to the body, just like the body has to be very, very responsive to the brain. A lot of times your brain will continue to work really well until it is really hurting. And so it's important to allow yourself to believe the truth that what you do now really does matter. Even if you feel okay, it still might matter in the future. A lot of times what people do is they listen to the part of their brain that's very interested in short-term fun, sort of like now, feed me now. And that part of the brain is looking for immediate needs being met, immediate pleasure, immediate safety. And we have to use another part of the brain, our frontal lobes or our prefrontal cortex, in order to make ourselves look to the future, in order to make ourselves do the behaviors that are in our best interest, particularly in the long term. And so sometimes the brain will get in the way of that because it's kind of living in the now in your limbic system. The limbic system is kind of all about now. And when dopamine comes in, so dopamine is a neurotransmitter, dopamine kind of walks in and says, oh, remember how much you want that thing over there? Remember the last time you had it, it was so good. Oh, I think you want it now. Just remember how great it is. And then you have to use the frontal lobe to employ good judgment and say, okay, but also 5 minutes after I did that thing, I felt sick to my stomach. So it's very short term. And, you have to really think about the long-term outcomes. Use your frontal lobes for that. Don't just go on completely the limbic system drive or desire for pleasure now, safety now. So your brain affects all the things can affect your brain. What can you do to help? And part of what I'm talking about here really is how can you practice strengthening your frontal lobes, or what are actually called medium spiny neurons. You can just take that home and laugh at that all night. Medium spiny neurons, yes. That is what you're strengthening to help you do the things you need to do. So you've got dopamine knocking on the door, threatening to push the door in, and you have the medium spiny neurons holding the door shut and saying, no, we have to go with good judgment. And the more you practice doing good judgment, the more your medium spiny neurons can get stronger, and the more they're able to resist the power of dopamine, which will remind you of all the things that might possibly have ever given you a moment of feeling good, even if they're really not good in the long term, or even the very medium long term, or even the, okay, in 2 minutes it didn't work, right? Okay, here's some of the things that you can do that are soul-based to help you. So most people complain of things like memory, or brain fog, or mood, or trouble with attention. And then they're asking for help. They want help with things like with magic, right? Just magically make it better. But what has to happen is your brain needs nourishment. You need nutrition in order to create goals. And a lot of times what we ask our brain to do is to just go do all the things, and then we ignore the brain's nutritional needs and just sort of expect it to do the things and go. Like it doesn't need nutrition. Like if we were just a good person, then the brain would behave. Instead of, we need to be taking in brain nutrition, and that involves eating phytonutrients that are particularly helpful for brain health and brain functioning. So let's look at some of these things, and there's a whole list of them. Just a little bit of a brief overview of some of the things that help with brain nutrition. One thing is that you might want to replace caffeine with Cinnamate. Now, I know that technically Cinnamate has caffeine in it. Now, there's a little bit of a disagreement, we'll say, between some scientists who say it's caffeine, get over it, and some other scientists, I think they're from Argentina, where, mate is really a big thing. This is all about yerba mate. And so they are saying, no, it's not really caffeine. I know it looks a lot like caffeine, but it seems to act differently. And so we're not going to call it caffeine. We're going to call it matine or matine. And so the matine believers are kind of facing up to the caffeine believers. But the reality is this, it does act differently. So for example, caffeine will increase blood pressure. We know that works. That's how it works. And so it creates some hypertension. And we know that yerba mate results in lower blood pressure. It's a vasodilator. And so it helps open and take the pressure off the blood vessels. So there are other phytonutrients involved. Yerba mate is not one single compound. It's not just caffeine. It is a whole host of things. And some of those things may act like caffeine, but other of those may moderate that activity so that you get some of the benefits of more alertness, some of the caffeine benefits, particularly in terms of attention and focus. But you also get some benefits of lower blood pressure. So it's sort of like it's very protective of some of the negative effects of caffeine. So you want to listen to your body. And this is not a principle just with Cinnamate. My body tells me yes all the time to Cinnamate. It says, it's like yes. And I have to say, no, it's the middle of the night. No, but in the morning, yes. Just wait a few hours and you can have it again in the morning, right? Okay, that's just me talking to myself, sorry. But listen to your body yourself. Your needs differ daily because guess what? You don't have the same day every single day. Can you imagine having the same day every single day? How boring would that be? You have a whole variety of demands on you that differ. And so your body has different needs from day to day. Sometimes you might need more Cinnamate, and sometimes you might just need one. What else helps? Like I'm saying, your days differ. Some days you have more stress, more upset. Crazy things can happen. And so you can do a crazy thing, which is, maybe take an extra adaptable every single time you might need to. What if you did that instead of, like, I was raised in the school of just suffer, don't take anything, just power through. Like that was kind of the school that I went to when I was young. And I learned that kind of well. And it's been like a project. It's been a project for me to learn how to listen to my body and then be kind to it. I realized I have never once gotten a gold star or any sort of recognition for not helping myself and just suffering through. Nothing like that has ever happened. So, just let it go, let that idea go, and be kind to your brain. Give it what it needs. Don't starve it of nutrition. And if you're stressed, take more adaptogens, not just adaptable. There are lots of adaptogens that help reduce and protect you from stress. And adaptable is easy. It's an easy one. Yeah, it's one of the things. Stabilizing your blood sugar is also helpful. We know now that Alzheimer's is beginning to be considered to be type 3 diabetes. The impact of blood sugar levels on your brain is a problem. There are lots of things that are harder. It's hard to sleep when your blood sugar is all jacked up. It's hard to think clearly. It's a lot of things are hard. And so doing what you can to stabilize your blood sugar is always in your best interest. And one of the great things about plants, phytonutrients, but plants in general, is most plants tend to lower blood sugar. Just like most plants are kind of help your body function better. It's sort of a thing about plants. Most plants, I think all plants, I can't think of any plant that's not anti-inflammatory off the top of my head. It just is so common. And so stabilizing your blood sugar is not like you found one herb in a list of 500 that actually does it. It turns out lots of herbs lower blood sugar, and a lot of herbs in Cinnamate lower blood sugar. I think all of the herbs in SolleClearSi, I think all of them in Cinnamate too, but I think all the herbs in SolleClearSi lower your blood sugar. Things like Avant Greens is going to help you manage your blood sugar because it's helping your whole body work better, in addition to having specific herbs that lower blood sugar. NeuroIM, I think all of the herbs in mushrooms rather, if not all, but most of the mushrooms in NeuroIM have an impact on lowering blood sugar. It may be hard because you are craving carbs all the time. And so you can use the complete and Cinnamate together as your defense against carb craving. That's pretty effective. Another thing that helps is that you don't allow yourself to do too much. And this means you might have to build in fact, I'm saying you might have to as if some of us don't have to do this, but that's really not true. Everyone has to do this thing where you build in some predetermined time off. And I don't mean like once or twice a year, like regular predetermined time off. And the measure of how much is enough is, how's your brain? How are you doing? Are you stressed? Do you need more time off? What if you did something every day that lets your brain rest? Maybe that would be useful. And so when you say, what are you talking about? Predetermined time off? That's just crazy. I can't do that. I have to be productive every second of every day. I know. I got that schooling too when I grew up. And it's not very healthy when you're exhausted and then you can't even sleep or function. And then guess what's bad for your brain health? Lack of sleep, for sure. And so if you build in some predetermined time off and you help your body calm down, you're so much more likely to just be healthier across the board. You're helping the parasympathetic system, which is opposed to the sympathetic nervous system. Those two things help your body in terms of what you need to do. So if you need to go to work, then you're probably using the sympathetic nervous system. And unless your work is like sleeping, then maybe you're not. But any kind of performance would involve the sympathetic nervous system. You're alert, you're creating something, you're working, and you're using energy. You're using it up. When you're in the parasympathetic system, this is when you're resting and then digesting. And you are building energy. So allow yourself to do some things that create or that rely on engaging that parasympathetic nervous system. Things like breathing deeply. Every time you take a really deep breath, your system will switch to the parasympathetic system. So that's a nice little hack that you can do. You can breathe deeply. You can do a thing where you're elongating your breathing. If you just lie down and you count and you allow yourself to count how many counts go to your in-breath and how many counts go to your out-breath, and you just sort of gradually lean toward extending the out-breath, that can really help you live a little more in the parasympathetic system, slow down your respiration, help you relax. Speaking of calming down, there are a number of things on your soul offerings that can help you calm down. Sometimes you just need help. There's no reason to have to do it all by your own little brain without asking other nutrients that are available to come help you. So you can use the power of your body here to soothe your brain. And what this is bottom-up processing. So the nerves are taking the message to the brain that say, hey, we're pretty calm down here, actually. So maybe you should calm down too. And then the brain will listen to the body much better than the body will listen to the brain in the sense of, if the brain tells the body, hey, yo, calm down, the body doesn't. You may have noticed this doesn't work very well. You may try it. I mean, then maybe next time, just tell yourself, hey, just calm down, see how well that works. And then try something that's actually effective where you're using your body to tell your brain to calm down. And so something like calm essential oil can help the body get a message that says, oh, you know what, I'm calmer now. And then the brain can listen and say, hey, I'm getting a lot of calm from the body, so I think we're safe. And I'm thinking maybe, calm down, right? Renew is fantastic for this. I love Renew for calming down the body and for calming down the brain, because sometimes you're in this mode where you're thinking stress thoughts. And every time I start thinking stress thoughts, I think, go drink some Renew, man, because that will stop the stress thoughts pretty well for me. You need enough fuel to run throughout the day. Sometimes we get so busy that we do this thing that I think is really unique to our culture, where we forget to fuel ourselves. We forget to eat, and then it's sort of like we think we should have just been able to power through again. But it's sort of like, here's a reality check. If you don't take in enough nutrients, then you'll run out of gas. It's like, this just works for all humans eventually. And so you could try adding some regular complete, some Avant Greens, some Infatuate. All three of those target different areas of a great nutritional program. And so you've got a wide variety of what you need in those three products. Maybe it's your hormones. If your hormones are whacked, they're out of balance, that makes all the things harder. Sleeping is harder, eating healthy is harder. Exercising is harder because your energy is up and down, it's unpredictable. Living is hard, your mood is difficult, etc. Hormones have a huge impact. And so you want some overall endocrine system helps, because your body kind of knows what you need. If you just give it the right nutrients, or you give it the tools that it needs to fix it, then it can go ahead and fix it. If you try yanking around individual hormones, it's just not as effective as letting your brain use what it knows to fix things down the line. And so if you can give the brain nutrition, you could do this with SolleClearSi or Solmaca XD, or a number of other products, but those two really came to mind with hormones. Then you will find some benefit. Maybe you have trouble breathing. Maybe at night it's like a constant struggle. You lie down and you have allergies, or you just laying down, it makes it so that you're having a harder time breathing. Maybe you're having trouble moving oxygen through your blood, or you're having trouble with your lymph system getting all stagnated. And then you have trouble, quote unquote, taking out the trash. In other words, your lymph system is collecting all of the trash from your blood cells, et cetera. And its job is to move the trash out. But if you've ever seen a garbage truck strike, then you know what happens is there's just trash in the streets. And so you need that lymph system to be moving so that you can take out the trash. And SolleClearSi at night even can help you get the sleep that might help your brain a lot. Help you move out the trash. Moving out the trash will help your brain a lot, and a lot of times it will reduce brain fog, because sometimes the brain fog is about too much trash in the streets or in your lymph system or in your liver, etc. Pain interferes a lot. We think about pain, particularly as it applies to not really being able to sleep, but also as this kind of constant drag on your system. It's a constant drag, it's a constant stress, and it is funneling resources away from your brain to just managing the pain. We tend to acclimate to pain. And so it's sort of like our brain gets used to it being there, but let me tell you, the body is still managing it the same every day. And so it's not like the body has forgotten it exists. The body's just sort of doing its thing. And the brain is like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is totally normal. Yeah, right? And so give your body a break. Don't power through. That's what that's supposed to say, power through. Just give your body a break. Soleflex PI helps. You might want to chime in and say what else helps you, because there are a number of Solle products that do seem to help people with pain. Don't forget the gut-brain connection. It's a huge, huge piece of what the cutting-edge research is really about. Lots and lots of research on the gut-brain connection. Your gut is under daily assault, and it doesn't really matter how healthy you eat. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. It totally matters how healthy you eat, but it doesn't mean if you eat healthy that you are completely 100% protected, because you're not, because you live on Earth. And have you looked around lately, right? And so eat healthy for sure. Try to get rid of all of the assaults on your brain that you can, but you can't get rid of all of them. And so your gut is always under some sort of daily assault. Don't defund your gut. Protect and serve with the ProBio IQ. I hope you're laughing. All right. Mood. Mood is another major player. Just thinking about, sometimes people feel like, oh, I have to be in the right mood to do this. And my mood is terrible right now, so I can't do it. Well, you know, take advantage again of some actual nutrition for your brain to help your brain with the mood. And we'll talk about that in a sec. But the next thing you do after or with the nutrition is that you get yourself to just do some of that behavior. And so you think, all right, I really want the mood to sort of like make this happen easily and create a nice flow. And it's lovely to work with flow. It just feels great. But sometimes flow doesn't happen and your brain is like not cooperating. And you're kind of like, oh, where's my mindset? I'm having really a hard time doing this. And so what you do is you go, maybe take little Avant Greens with a little tree of happiness in it, Albizia, give you a little burst of happy, or any other of the adaptogens will also help. And then you go do the behavior and grind through it. You grind through it for a little bit and your brain learns that, you know what, you're not dependent on mood. You don't have to be dependent. You can go create results even when you're in kind of a yucky mood and you are not having flow. And then of course there's NeuroIM. That's huge for brain health. I mean, the whole name, neuro, is a large clue. NeuroIM, here's a reminder, just a quick reminder of some of the ways it helps. So all the mushrooms are anti-inflammatory. They're antioxidant. So they will protect the brain. from a lot of things. Most of the herbs or mushrooms are shown to improve depression and anxiety. Specifically, lion's mane, for example, relieves cognitive impairment. That's pretty exciting. It helps neurons grow. It helps myelinate neurons, so you can learn things better and have better brain or neuron communication. Reishi help brain cells regenerate. They help them grow. So there are a lot of things. That's just a little taste of what's in the Neuro IM that will help with neurons, with brain help, okay? There are a ton of things here for you to take in. And so I want you to just think about what are a few things that maybe you could incorporate into your life starting tomorrow, or maybe starting after your next soul order. What can you do to create change? Because the truth is, when you look into the future, things aren't really going to get better unless you make them better. And so think about, what can I do? Even one thing. What can I do, even if it's one thing, to make my brain happier? Start something new, shake up the brain, make it, not stuck in the same rut after one day after another. That rut is, it's not growth. So shake your brain up by creating some new habit. Think about what you can introduce to your body. Here is a buffet of choices. All right. Have a great night. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.
Chat them in to the chat box, and we'll try and answer those questions. And also, I'm still looking for more dad jokes. I saw a couple dad jokes, but if you want to win a prize, chat in your favorite dad joke, and I will be selecting some winners at the end of the program. Now, Alison, I saw one question that was texted in, so I want to address that one. Someone was responding to your comment that you can take SolleClearSi at night, and that it would help your brain, it help you sleep better, help you breathe better. And they were unaware that that was an option. Are you supposed to take SolleClearSi at night? And by accident, I've actually been taking SolleClearSi at night. Not for that reason, but because of the pandemic and trying to get the immune building into my system, I've been taking SolleClearSi along with Vertizymes at night, and I've been taking most of my other capsuled products in the morning. And I found that as I've done that, I actually have slept better. So I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep taking the SolleClear at night. I think it helps me breathe better. And I think my wife is saying that it's helped even with snoring. So I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know if that's what it's intended to do. But anyway, in response to the question that I saw there. Oh, they can't hear me, Kendall. Now they can? Oh. All right. Can you hear me now? I don't know how much of it they missed. But anyway, Alison, you welcome. And let's see if they have any questions. Let's say, Deanne says she always takes SI at night with her sinus problems. Let's see, I bought yeah, they're all jokes. They're sending in their best jokes, so I will have to go through them, see which one's my favorite. I don't know, see if there are any questions about any of the products. So, Alison, of all the products that you mentioned, which would be your favorite product for the brain, for brain health?
The Solle products.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
The
are
Solle
ones
products, the Solle product line.
Like that's an impossible question. Because all of them, like I just went through and listed lots of, I could list more reasons for taking all the things. If you need another half an hour of this, we could do that.
You do that? Do you, so when do you take the SolleClear? Do you take it at night?
I do take it at night. I take it in the morning too, depending on how I'm doing. But I take it at night almost every night, and it helps me sleep better because I don't have that mucusy kind of buildup that happens. Or like I might lie down and then I start having like the cough that happens, and this is my like lovely cough that I love. And if I do SolleClearSi, I'm really not troubled.
I found that, like my wife, for example, she has to take a lot of the products during the day. So Soul Renew, for example, I can drink Soul Renew and it helps me sleep at night. But my wife can't drink it at night, but she's found that she can take SolleClear, she can take Vertizymes, other things at night. ProBio IQ, for example, she can take at night and seems to get better results than taking it in the morning. It's so funny how we all have different needs and how we all work differently. Now, I have one question for you. During your presentation, you mentioned you made some offhand remark about working unless sleeping is your work. And so I want to know if you know of any jobs where they employ people just to sleep, because I think I'd be really good at that.
Well, I did know of a couple, and I actually recommended you, but then they disappeared. I don't understand why.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we have any questions. I know I have lots of jokes. Why would I rest on Sunday if I could sit on Saturday? Why would I rest on Sunday? Why couldn't the green pepper practice archery? Because didn't have an arrow. Didn't have an arrow. All right, Ashley, that's going to be one of my winners. 2 sausages were sitting in a frying pan. Oh, I missed it. It went too fast. What is something green inside and silver outside? I don't know. Where's the answer? Wit braces? What? I don't know. I guess I don't get it. Oh, here's Lydia Ferrantino. Her favorite dad joke includes the name of her husband. What do you call a man who cannot stand? Neil. What do you call a line of rabbits walking backwards, Allison?
Hair, something about hairs?
Yes, a receding hairline.
Yeah.
And that is my second winner.
Nice.
So, Satinka Bressington, that is winner number 2. I'm going to go with habanero as my other winner. And my third winner is going to be, and I saw it earlier, what does a nosy pepper do? This is from Paige Campbell. What does a nosy pepper do? It gets jalapeno business. So those are my 3 winners. And here's the prizes. I'm going to give each of you a copy of Allison's book about 10 medicinal mushrooms. And my favorite one, Satinka, is the receding hairline. So I'll send you a soul hat as well to cover your brain up. All right, jokes. A few announcements before we conclude tonight. First of all, I want you to know that we are running a special all month long during the month of November, and it is on NeuroIM. And you can save 10% on NeuroIM all month long. This special will end on November 30th. So you have all month long to save on NeuroIM, so make sure you let everybody know that special is going to continue. Our next virtual happy hour will not take place until February of 2021. There will be no virtual happy hour in December because we're active, and we're going to get more of you involved in the presentation of the material. So look for more details on our new updated virtual happy hour, and we will let you know about that when? In January. We'll give you all the details, because at January 15th through the 16th, we are having our Simply Together virtual kickoff. And again, those dates are January 15th through the 16th, and there is a $30 registration fee to participate and receive a workbook. And in order to get the workbook and the registration materials, we need you to register by December 15th. So make sure you register for our Simply Together virtual kickoff next January. And at that event, I'm telling you, we will give you the details about virtual happy hour. Thank you for attending and participating and sharing your best dad jokes. Thanks, everyone. Good night.